Hi, I'm Don from DonDronesOn, and today I have my very own cameraman floating right there in front of me. It's a HOVERAir X1 drone, and it's amazing. It's even canceling out the noise of the props. Let's check it out. So before we go any further, let's look behind the scenes at my opening. What's going on here? A tiny drone flying in front of me as I'm walking forward. No one's controlling it. And on top of that, the drone is making the usual whining drone sounds, maybe in fact noisier than some, and yet the final audio recording is crystal clear with no prop noise. So this is the HOVERAir X1. The Zero Zero Robotics company sent me this thing for free in exchange for this review. But I'll be totally honest, I love this thing. And I probably would have bought it myself. It runs around about $400 US, if you can get your hands on it. They're literally flying off the shelf, if you pardon the expression. But what is it? In short, the HOVERAir X1 is a pocket-sized, self-flying video camera designed to track and follow people. There's an app used for the initial setup and to do some fancier stuff. But for the most part, you need no app, no phone, no controller. You turn it on, you select the flight mode, and launch it from the palm of your hand in seconds. And then it's designed to land back in the palm of your hand. And it has this prop guard all around it for safety. It doesn't need GPS. You can fly it indoors just as well as outdoors. It records in 2.7K at 30 frames per second or 1080p at 60 frames per second, which is good for slow-mo shots. And they just released a firmware update that allows vertical format shots if you're into that sort of thing, like for TikTok or other social media channels. The video is super stable right out of the camera. It's got vibration dampening in the gimbal, electronic image stabilization, and horizon leveling. The video might be a bit on the sharp side, in my opinion, but frankly, for the kinds of shots you're making with it, it's perfectly fine and actually fantastic. The user interface, as I said, is simple and intuitive. There's a power button to turn it on and off and to launch your flight. And the only other button is a mode button to pick your flight mode. Press that and it moves to the next mode and it tells you verbally what you've selected.
Hover. Zoom out.
If you do a long press on the mode button, it will cycle through the settings, such as the radius of an orbit shot. The flight modes are self-explanatory. The first one is hover, where it just stays in one place and rotates to track you. Next is zoom out, where it moves away from you and upwards, all the while keeping you perfectly in frame. The next one is cool. It'll follow you from behind at up to about 20 kilometers per hour. And frankly, it's almost unshakable. It doesn't have any obstacle avoidance sensors, but clearly it's using some sort of smart video processing to avoid stuff like trees. Well, most of the time anyway. And if it does crash into something, it simply scolds you about not paying attention.
Collision detected. Please pay attention to the surrounding environment and avoid obstacles.
3 more flight modes. Orbit, where it goes around you in a circle. You can select anywhere from 1.5 meters to 6 meters in radius. Then there's bird's eye, which is straight up, as much as 15 meters. And then a custom button that you can set from the app. The coolest custom mode is dolly track, which is what I used in my opening, where the drone is actually flying ahead of you and you can kind of steer it. Here's Josh trying to fake it out on dolly track by dodging and weaving, at which point the drone just reverts to following him from behind. The battery lasts about 10 minutes, which is fine for about 20 of these short little flights. I would strongly recommend buying the kit that includes a second battery and an external charger. There's nothing worse than running out of batteries. The HOVERAir X1 is designed for people on the go who want to take quick, easy, but dramatic shots without fussing around with setup and controllers. It's great for cool family pictures or vloggers who want to add just some spice to their videos. Setting up your drone is no longer fiddly. Just pull it out and go. Watch how fast I can go from pocket to recording. It's incredibly easy and fast to use. So let me demonstrate. I've got it turned off. It's in my pocket. Pull it out. I want to do a zoom out, zoom back thing. I'm in a fairly restricted area, so I don't want it to go too far. So I've pulled it out. I unfold it. It's off. I hold the power button for about 2 seconds until the green light comes on. It'll go through a little bit of a boot up cycle. The lights will flash and it'll start to speak to you.
Current mode, custom,
Okay.
dolly track.
Okay, so the last thing I did was a dolly track, which was my opening. And you can see the modes are here. This is the mode button. I want to do a zoom out. So I click it around.
Hover,
That's hover.
zoom out,
There's my zoom out. Now, it's got different settings for how far it's going to go. I think there's 5 different settings. So you press and hold
3 meters,
3
zoom
meters. That's probably okay, but just a minute.
out, 6 meters,
That's
zoom out,
that's too far.
9 meters, zoom out,
That'll be in the trees.
1.5 meters, zoom out,
That's not bad. Maybe not quite far enough. Let's do the next one.
3 meters, zoom out,
3 meters. I think we can do that, and I'm going to do it in this direction. So all you do is you put it on the palm of your hand. The camera has to actually see you. If it's pointing at an object, it won't do anything. It'll just say, "You idiot, you have to point at a face." So click the on button. It'll start to flash, indicating that it's about to go. And that's it. It hovers. Eventually the red light will go on. That means it's recording. You of course have to wave because it's a drone. It backs up 3 meters, thankfully just shy of the tree, and then it comes back. Each of those moves is a recording, like the going out and the coming back. When it's wanting your attention, it'll flash green. Put your hand out and it lands in your hand. Now, if that's not enough, there's one other feature that knocks this drone out of the park: the noise canceling audio recording. For this, you need your phone with the app. You tap the connect button and keep your phone close enough to record your own audio. In my opening, I used an external mic, so I could stuff my phone in my pocket and be completely hands-free. So your voice gets recorded onto your phone, and when you download the video from the drone to the app magically merges the video and audio and filters out the propeller noise and other background noise as well. Your voice comes through crystal clear. Now, this is an amazing feature when it works, but I found I had a lot of test shots with no sound at all for a variety of reasons, mostly, to be honest, because I'm an idiot. But this is supposed to be idiot-proof. The key to success: be sure your phone is connected to the drone. Don't allow the screen to get locked, and always download the video using the app. Don't take it directly out of the drone. Honestly, I found the whole thing pretty frustrating until I figured it out. My main issue is that the app often wouldn't connect to the drone's Wi-Fi. Restarting the app solved the problem every time. I've reported my issues to the company, and I'm sure they'll improve it over time. So just be prepared for some fiddling around to get this amazing feature to work for you. The rest of the stuff works flawlessly. But it is so cool when that thing works. Watch this little bit of silliness that I took after my test shots. So this is the kind of cool stuff. I'm just checking. Maybe it's recording. I'm not sure. I sure hope it is. I'm done my little review. I'm going to take my equipment inside. And I thought, well, that'd be kind of neat. Let's see if I can actually record myself carrying it in. Let's see. So let's see if it'll go through the door. You going to come follow me? I'm going to help it. Just going to bring it over here a little bit. You have to kind of help steer it. Come on in. Yay! Come on all the way in. Fantastic. There are a few more limitations I should mention. It can handle a bit of a breeze up to about 15 kilometers per hour, but not much more than that. And you can't fly it over water or any other surface that might get it confused. It navigates using downward facing sensors. So if you're flying over uneven terrain or a sudden drop off, or even in low light conditions, you might lose it. Most importantly, if it runs into any problem, it will just get very sad and land wherever it might be. So if you're over the water, that's it. It'll be wrecked. And finally, I wouldn't fly it indoors where other people are hanging around. If you think this would be cool to film your daughter's school concert, think again. It is very whiny and people will hate you. Sure, you can fly it in your own home, but again, be prepared for your spouse to take a frying pan to it. From a regulatory perspective, this drone falls into the sub 250 gram range. In fact, it's only 125 grams. That means in a lot of countries, most drone regulations don't apply. But there are some important and obvious things to remember. Don't fly it near airports or in crowd situations, where you could startle someone or run into them. And whatever you do, don't use it to film fires or other emergency situations. If you interfere with some life-saving operation, you'll be in a whole lot of trouble. Yeah, so the HOVERAir X1 camera drone, it's a self-flying beast, fantastically quick, fantastically compact, very easy to use. My only complaint is setting up this whole voice thing was a little bit problematic, but otherwise everything worked flawlessly, better than I expected, and it's really cool. So yeah, check it out. I was given this for free for this review. Otherwise, I'm not getting paid for it. But yeah, I like it. I think it's really cool.